have a motion to open the meeting? Second? All in favor? Okay. The board will be entering into executive session for the purpose of collective negotiations under the Taylor Law, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment or promotion or demotion or discipline or suspension or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I have a motion to move into exec? Second? All in favor? All right. The board will be back at approximately 7 a.m. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, and this is the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. The board has just returned from executive session, a little bit late. I apologize for that. And before we get started, let's stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion. Second. All in favor? Okay, Carmen, do we have anyone here for audience comments on non-agenda items? I want to make sure that those watching at home hear that there is nobody here for comments. Then we're on the consent agenda. Does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda? See. Nothing? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion. Second. Second. All in favor? Great. There was nothing removed, right? And we have nobody signed up for audience comments on agenda items. Yeah. Okay. All right, cruising right along to our superintendent report. Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, President Bernard. Good evening, everyone. Later this evening, I will provide an update on the work that our district and our elementary reconfiguration task force has engaged in as we prepare for changes to the structure of our elementary schools to the 24-25 school year. And as a reminder, starting in September of 2024, Buchanan Plank Elementary School will serve students in kindergarten through 2nd grade residing west of Route 9 in the area in and around about Montrose Station Road off of Route 9, including but not limited to Oak Ridge, College Hill, and Travis Lane. Furnace Wood Elementary School will serve students in kindergarten through 2nd grade residing east of Route 9, except as provided in the bulleted items above. And then Frank G. Lindsay Elementary School will be dedicated to our 3rd and 5th grade students. However, we also know that there may be some questions about your specific address. So in that report, I will show parents and the community resources where they can type in their address to find the specific building that they will be attending based upon their address. As you may be aware, one of our district goals this year relates to celebrating student and staff achievements. And in keeping with that goal, I have some fantastic news to share with respect to a few of our faculty members and the programs we support. I was almost late for this evening's executive session, which I'm sure some people wouldn't mind, because I was joining members of our district at the Edith Macy Conference Center to honor our Blue Mountain Middle School art teacher, Logan Krause, on her selection for the prestigious Lower Hudson Regional Information Center TEL Award for Outstanding and Innovative Educator. She was nominated by a high school principal, Miss Lauren Scollins, and supported by Miss Vanitha Joy. That's why you do not see Vanitha here, which we do have a little contest on whose meeting will end earlier. So hopefully Vanitha is watching, or she won't be watching because we'll be done before she will be. And we'll further recognize Logan at our April 16th board meeting, where we will also host our student artist reception at the Hendrick Hudson Public School Library. This is a very prestigious award within the region that recognizes educators who look to use instructional technology in an innovative and engaging manner for our students. So Logan has represented us well in the region. We look forward to honoring her, and I had the privilege of seeing her and her family tonight. Many of her colleagues showed up, so it was nice to see you Saturday. Yesterday, President Bernard and Vice President Mills joined me and some very special guests in honoring Miss Melissa Dietrich, kindergarten teacher at Frank G. Elementary. I'm sorry. Marissa Dietrich, I'm sorry, kindergarten teacher at Frank G. Lindsay, as she was awarded the WHUD Golden Apple Award. Winners of this fantastic award are nominated by individuals such as parents and students and formally presented with a wonderful Golden Apple trophy, and as well as a segment on WHUD. This teacher was nominated by one of her parents who highlighted the personal support that she provided to her child in helping them make dynamic academic progress. It was a pleasure to join with Dr. Kramer, Ms. Dietrich's family, her class, her colleagues, and representatives of WHUD who surprised her with the award. And more information on this will be forthcoming on our social media outlets, but it was truly a fantastic day to celebrate with her family. She was surprised. Her children even kept it a secret from her. So it was really nice to be able to celebrate some of the work that our fantastic teachers such as Marissa do. Earlier this week, the district was made aware that the Hendrick Hudson community was once again recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants, locally known as NAMM, N-A-M-M, the foundation of that arm, as one of the best communities in the nation for music education. Hendrick Hudson was one of 975 districts nationwide identified as a community that demonstrates an exceptionally high commitment to music and access to music education. So congratulations to our teachers, our administrators, our parents, our community leaders, and our students for supporting the belief that music education is an integral part of a well-rounded education. The rest of these are just reminders. So if you've been tuning in for the past couple of weeks, you can tune me out right now. We are in the process of our UPK registration. So please navigate to our website and click on the Departments tab, then the Registration tab. If you need assistance in Spanish, including help with your documents, please contact our partners at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library at 914-739-5654, or by visiting the library during the following days and hours: Mondays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesday from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m., and the library can assist any individuals with document scanning, completing the registration process. So we're always thankful to our partners at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library. While we're on that, our next board meeting will be held at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library as well, too. So just a reminder of that. We are still in the process of kindergarten registration. So please navigate to our website and click on the Departments tab and then under the Registration tab. A redesigned website, by the way. So it's been that way for a couple of weeks. And just re-registered for UPK last year, whether you're valid or not, you don't have to register again. Correct. If you have registered for UPK, you were already in our system, so you were a year ahead. All the more reason to register for UPK this year. You won't have to do it again next year. Thank you, Trustee Bassett. Please remember, if you are not a parent or guardian who plans to have children attend a non-public school, you must notify our transportation department in an official capacity of this notice by April 1st, 2024. And that request form can be found on our website under the Transportation Department tab and select the transportation. Oh, jeez. That was a reminder if you did not do that.
I'm like, did I not missing the
Yes. Added a different 0. And there are no outstanding follow-up responses to community questions from our last board meeting. And I know they're watching on YouTube right now, but I'm supposed to remind my children to go to bed.
Well, you can keep on moving because the next is a presentation that you're giving.
Yes, as mentioned in that fantastic superintendent's update, we are going to be having a presentation on some of the work that our elementary reconfiguration task force is engaged in and has completed in assisting the district in an advisory manner of completing the transition to our new attendance zone policy. So we do have a brief presentation. Everything that I'm about to share is available on our website for the elementary transition process. So if you do navigate to the Hendrick Hudson website, if you scroll down underneath the main picture, you can see the restructuring tab all the way over to the right. Thank you, Greg. So this is updates on the task force. If you look at that webpage, you did see that I mentioned that individuals can identify their school assignment lookup. That's under the 3rd active button on the task force page. If you click on that, you'll be taken to a spreadsheet where you can just clear out whatever information is in there and you can type in your address, and that will show you where your school will be for next year. And if you have any questions, please contact the district office and we'll be able to help you with that. But that is available. Additionally, on this webpage, we have our FAQs from the whole process. So we have an archive of information there. We also have a listing of the materials that were used as the board considered its process in identifying that new policy. What I'd like to highlight now is the link right in the middle that says HHCSD Elementary Transition Planning Meetings. This is not meant to be a presentation board. This is meant to be a task force's working document. So you'll see, particularly because we are all typing with fervor, we're all typing as we're trying to identify what work is going on. There are many hands in this, it's a shared document. So you can blame all the spelling on me, but it's not meant to be a presentation. It's meant to be a capture of the fantastic work that the task force is engaged in. If we go to the first slide, sorry, Greg. We'll just go through. You have access to all this, so I'm not going to bore you to death with the work that's there, but it is a historical record of the work that the task force has explored. I do want to highlight that these have been the past meeting dates. Please note that these are just the meeting dates that the task force has met on. This did not encompass all of the work that our administrative team, our teachers, other stakeholders have done to help move this process forward to ensure a smooth transition to the new structure of our elementary schools. And if we go to the next slide, these are the future dates. And again, please keep in mind that this does not encompass all the work that will occur outside of these meeting dates. The last meeting we held was on the 28th of March. And I'll just take you through the format of this task force. And again, the reason why it's a task force and not a committee is a task force has a clear definition of their objective and a clear end time. So hopefully you see that reflected in here. We always start every mission or every meeting in this district grounded in our mission to help refocus us. We remind the task force of their charge, and that's to take the current configuration to the new configuration. We spent the first meeting identifying the norms of how the task force would operate. We have stakeholders here from the teachers union. We have stakeholders from every union that we have. We have parent membership. We have PTA membership. We have outside partners such as Mother Connection. So you have various different perspectives that we are trying to bring together to meet that charge on the previous slide. So I spent the first meeting wanting to make sure we were all on the same page with those different perspectives with how we would behave with each other in these task force meetings. So we review these norms at the beginning of each meeting. We try to hold each other accountable to that. Most of the people holding me accountable to starting it and ending it on time because everybody else has been quite adherent, adhering to these norms. We start off with objectives for each of the meetings so that we have a clear beginning and end. And these have been consistent through most of the task force meetings. On the next slide, we then go through a phase of updates from administration. So every administrator who has oversight in area of some of the aspects that need to be considered with this has the opportunity to present. I normally start with some district decisions. So you can see here, we're really getting down to some granular actionable items, such as we've decided, and so this is where the public should go to see what some of the decisions that are going to be associated with this change are going to be codified. We obviously will, as we get closer, communicate these in a different way, but we just want people to see our decision-making work that is going on. So you can see some of the specific decisions that were made at the last meeting. I will highlight the bottom one, the meet and greets, because this is something that is ongoing. We heard from our teacher representatives and many of our building administrators that there were meet and greets at our first couple of days in the past couple of years, where parents could come and meet their teacher at a particular time during those first couple of days. Our teachers want to be able to put their best foot forward and unpack their classrooms and get their classrooms ready. And they found that while this is something that they wanted to do, it did get in the way of being able to efficiently unpack their classroom. So that's something that we need to revise as we go into this year. Our principals then give an update. Right now, you can see that they are busy working on the scheduling of staff, the floor plans of where staff are going to be, and they were working with their staff on these topics and still addressing staff concerns to help come up with decisions related to some of these tangible items. We then moved to facilities. Of note, we did select a moving company from the last to assist in the the full move. Mr. Merlini has been working on the specific understandings of that scope, which will be shared at probably our next task force meeting. And you can see we get as granular as we can get us boxes early, because at the end of each meeting, we have a roundtable where we want to hear from every participant, and we keep track of some of those items, such as can we get boxes early was a question. So Mr. Merlini updated that we can. So this is just to show you the structure. In terms of transportation, you can see here that they're in the process of building the routes. They're working with a TransFinder consultant. And you can see here how all of the actions that we update you in a number of different mediums, such as superintendent's updates or website information, plays into the delicate dance that is the school system. You can see here that we won't know specific routes until we have full registration. So we need the public to support us with that and to continue to, they know that they're gonna have a child start in the fall, please and get registered for that time as quickly as you can. On our next slide, you can see that the Curriculum and Instruction and Personnel Office has really been working on UPK, talking about meet and greet concerns, reaching out to our preschools, knowing that general ed staff knows their placements, most of special ed staff know their placements. Our clerical staff will be going to the building that their principal is going to. Nurses will be following that same manner. Custodians will be staying in the building because of their historical knowledge of that building. And that TAs will follow the teacher that they are teaching with, except for 3 of them, which will move from Furnace Woods to Mead. So this is the type of information that is shared with the task force. Now, again, this information is current as of the 28th. Things can change, and that's why we have more task force meetings. Next, we have our executive director of PPS provide an update. You can see here about the work she did between meetings. On the next slide, there is miscellaneous items, such as we need to consider that a key component of our buildings, and I highlight this because this shows you the level of thought that our administrative and stakeholder teams are putting into what needs to occur in this move. We know that we have building emergency response teams, that's the BERT acronym. They are based on the building that they are currently in. Many of the teachers may be moving to a different building, so we need to make sure that we consider that as this move occurs, and that we are mindful of that, because now is the time when we are putting together our building emergency response plans for submission to the state, so that we can meet that deadline as well. So food service provide an update that they are working on a number of different items. On the next slide is when we move to the roundtable. It was suggested that because we did review floor plans of the principals, and we saw that some of the principals had staff sharing rooms. The feedback from the stakeholder group was consider the use of dividers. I do believe the district was donated some dividers in the recent history, and that might be a way that we could divide some of that shared staff and provide some structure there. We are exploring the transitions for students. While we don't have dates yet, the principals do have in mind some specific transition activities that we are looking into. It was brought up at the last meeting that some parents are not aware that this transition is occurring, or this reconfiguration is occurring, which is why you heard me update the community today. And in my update going home this week, we will also provide that. So it's a valuable conduit of information to the administration from the stakeholders who attend those meetings to help us keep in mind what they're hearing in the community. We also know that we need to meet with Mother Connection to discuss space and storage there. And then that led us into the previous meeting. So I wanted to provide you with twofold information here. Updates on what the task force is doing, but also structure of what's occurring at those meetings. So with that, I'll yield any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, concerns, or complaints.
Do we have a move date yet?
Right after school ends, the movers will begin. We will be anticipating that we're going to move the library early. So if you notice that now that there is always an externality. So the externality is we need to have all the books returned earlier so we can move that library so that we can have it ready to open when we do have school open in September. So in general terms, as soon as on June 27th, the movers are going to be ready to go. But if there's anything they can do ahead of time that does not impact instruction or safety, we will make sure that we do that.
So I think for the lunch, and I know this year we had applied for lunch for all, but we didn't qualify as a district. I just saw in that noting there that we're going to try to apply again, but for 3 of the schools.
Yes, at PV, BMMS, and FGL. I will have to follow up with Claire why it wouldn't be for Furnace Woods. The high school does not participate in the.
Yeah, they have a separate lunch program.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just wondering why Furnace Woods wasn't on the list.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think Claire anticipates that they will not meet the threshold. You have to be below a certain poverty level to receive that, I believe. And also, I think you probably caught the note that our UPK kids will also not be able to participate.
That's not our decision. That's a federal decision for UPK.
Yes, she is working with the YMCA to provide, to have lunch available for purchase, but it can't be part of the program that she provides for the K2 kids.
I think I recall we didn't make the threshold this year.
Correct.
So she thinks that the middle school will be there next year.
She is, if it's close, she's going to apply.
Right.
Okay.
So right now we only have 18 for UPK, so 12 will be and 6.
We have
These numbers for registration for, is that kindergarten or UPK?
UPK is
So that was as of March 28th, right? I'm guessing that it's hopefully.
I emailed today, as Amelia can attest to, all of the known
I did not register.
UPK eligible families. Excuses. And I reminded them that enrollment is live. I provided them with the link to directly to the registration site. I told them that there is information on the site that compares both programs so that they can make a logical decision for their families. I also reminded them that there is no lottery and everyone has a seat. So, please, I tried to urge them to do that by May 1st. And hopefully we will, get larger numbers. We have, I think on the list, just over 90 known 4-year-olds that would be eligible for the program if everyone participates.
I know, Margaret, one of the questions I got from a parent was they reached out to find out about the before and after compared to the Y, and the Y can't give them any of that information, so they don't know
Exactly.
what the cost
So
is going to be, and they don't want to sign up for something that they're not understanding.
Amelia emailed me right before the board meeting and I answered her.
I emailed as a parent.
Yes, she emailed as a parent to say, how can I make contact? And she said, I saw the information on the website with contact information for both the Rising Star and the Y. And she shared that she got the same response that the parent who spoke with Shamika received, which was that they were not ready yet with that information. And I immediately forwarded Amelia's email to the contact that Mike and I have been working with and said, please see below, our families really need to know that cost so that they can make a logical decision for their financial situation. I have a call with him tomorrow, and I will reiterate that that is a blocker for many people that we're hearing that this is a problem. They need some understanding of what is involved. So we'll move them along if we can. I know on their side of things, they are eager to see registration pick up because they have to hire. And, obviously we're expecting that we'll have more than 17 students at BV, so they have to get ready to put out a posting for teachers and teaching assistants. So.
Last year it was like.
It was a lottery, they were nervous.
Oh,
Yes.
right, thank you,
Yes.
urgency.
So I think it's important to remind the community that the Y its planning needs to have accurate numbers to know how to staff it, or else they will not be able to staff.
And then it won't happen.
Right, so while it may not be a lottery, there's a sense of partnership here. We always talk about how schools, public schools, a partnership. We have the data, we can provide, the Y will be able to provide the bodies.
And so, what if someone meets the deadline?
And they still, so if I don't sign up by the deadline,
Is there a deadline?
It's really not a deadline. I urge them to apply by May 1st, but literally, just like our K-12 students, they can show up October 1st. they're residents, and we've said publicly that everyone has a seat. So they can take as long as they want. The problem that presents is the staffing piece for this outside entity.
Well, that's right. I do have to say in the letter, she did say she would prefer by May 1st so that there could be meet and greets, like planning, staffing, all of that stuff. So she did put in the email to the parents, May 1st is the preferable time for the application to be in.
Right.
Which did light up a fire in my.
I'm glad to hear that. I will say the same is true with kindergarten, and I mean, you know, I've been doing this 30 years, kindergarten registration goes on through October. But the problem with that is that now as a parent and as a student, you've missed orientation, you've missed every opportunity to gradually ease your way into the program. And I know that it's frustrational for the principals because they would like to welcome all of their families and not have people feel as though they've missed out on those opportunities, but there are timing issues that come into play.
I mean, is there a number that the Y needs we need to have for the UPK for them?
They're hoping that they will have a minimum of 2 full classrooms at each site. So obviously right now we're not near there. I mean, BV is, they have 1 full classroom. But I mean, I have no doubt that it will pick up. It's just a question of motivating folks or reminding them that, you know, this is now ready to go. So come on down.
So if you think of the Y being able to sustain the classroom, their threshold is really 20 students, right? So they don't want to have to split classes.
Right.
So it's best for them to know fully what they have, so they don't have to give them more for credit and staff.
So it's 20 per class, not 12.
It's actually 18.
It's 18,
but then you can have
that.
Right. Any other questions?
Actually, so what happens if someone does move here in October and the classes at BV are full and they then be offered a spot at Curtis Woods? Is that how we're?
We have discussed that, but not come to a final decision yet. Like, is there overflow so that the program doesn't feel compelled to try to open another section, but is there room in another location?
Okay,
So was my when we did the attendance time, was that pre-K as well, or was that K1, 2 and pre-K for the most part? Was that like a definite?
Pre-K is not in our policy.
Pre-K wasn't in the policy, so they wouldn't be confined to a certain school,
right, it wasn't,
right?
it was just a goal.
Yeah, it was a
So,
goal
right.
to get them in the closest one, but yeah, that wasn't
Exactly.
part of the.
And we have been
Part of
using the
access.
dividing line just to get a feel for where everyone sits.
Okay.
When do we anticipate that, and I know things can change, but that the staff will know TAs, monitors, teachers, where they will end up?
So Gen Ed knows their placements. Most of special ed staff know their placements. We know that TAs will normally follow their teacher, so teachers know where they're going, TAs will.
What about the building level monitors and?
So we've told them that the clericals monitors we haven't discussed yet.
We have not discussed the monitors.
Monitors will have to still be discussed. But in terms, the clericals are gonna follow the principal, custodians are staying put, and then the nurses are gonna be followed.
And all the staff that is working in ICT knows they'll be working in ICT versus not working in ICT. If you're a gen ed teacher, you know that.
And that includes all the teachers who are doing like AAS, they know
Yes.
what programming they're doing, okay.
Because to do that, we have to know what vacancies we have to post and then to fill.
And like, we just recently posted, I have 3 positions that I have to move around. And we have to remember, special ed teachers are different, they're K-12 certified. So I can say, you're going here, you're going there. So we haven't had that discussion, we probably will have that. When does your posting close? Whatever the posting
This week.
closes.
This Friday.
So I will sit and meet with people and let them know. Unless an opening here causes another posting. So remember, every time you move someone, there's another posting.
Exactly.
I have one last question. What is the travel time right now for the transponder?
We gave the parameters to build the routes. We gave them shooting for 30, but understanding that 35 is probably the best.
I think Liz at our last task force meeting said that there was one route that kept coming out at like 38 or 40, don't quote me, and they fixed it, and it's no more than 35, but most rides are well under 35. That's what she shared.
So the route, when we say they're working with the transponder consultant, to engage in that, we had to give them certain parameters before they started that part, or else it would get another build or a data point.
And we're using the speed that is allowed, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Our collective action policy.
And our number.
I just wanted to make sure that that's
Number of
going
buses
to
were provided,
the
yeah.
transpinder, because I know previously another number was given, I believe.
There was confusion over that.
Oh, but then, no, yes, I just want to make sure we're giving the
This year?
speed,
Yeah.
no,
Last, or the year.
yes, I just want to make sure the speed that you posted with the time is the
I will
acceptable speed.
confirm that, but it's my understanding that we have to use speed limits, so I will.
Okay.
Do we know which area has the 35 minutes?
I'll have to find that out.
I'm just doing Morgan tries on. She drives it, she's almost.
I'm sure.
Maybe.
Do you have any meetings scheduled yet for communities for budget? In the past, like Superintendent Enrique would have virtual and in-person meetings to just go over the budget in case people have questions.
We have not scheduled those that for the adopted budget. We did that for the proposed budget, but we looked to schedule something for the adopted budget. We do have a meeting with Buchanan Seniors, yes, that's a schedule.
Okay, and then I guess when you do the budget, you'll also go over all the all the other petitions that are proposition, yeah.
But can I remind us, sorry, as a reminder, every building does have a copy of the budget book. Our budget presentations and adopted budget and budget book are online. If you don't want to come and listen to my voice, you can find that information out there as well. You can also access all the presentations went into that follow-up online. Yes, we definitely schedule some.
Right. Well, moving on to our policy reading section. And I'll pass it over to Erica.
We have one policy, this is a second reading. It's policy 0310, evaluation of school board operational procedures. The Board of Education will review the effectiveness of its internal operations at least one time.
The reading.
Second.
All in favor?
This is just reaffirming that we will review our own process and procedures as a board annually. This is something we would do usually do in our summer retreat.
Motion to that policy, that adopt the policy.
Second. Okay. All right, that is the only policy for this evening. Do we have any committee reports? Any committee reports?
Ooh. Like clear out of here. We're out.
It's time to go home.
Every teacher knows that as kids.
And then they're gonna wait at the door.
Oh, no. Any board comments or new business?
This is a record.
All right.
No.
No? Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Oh, like,
Second, all in favor? Our next meeting is next week.
At the library.
Yeah, I hope it was off.
Tuesday, am I on? Okay, Tuesday, April 16th at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library, so not here at the high school. The next meeting is at, is at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library.
The art show.
And it's K-12 art show, so there'll be lots of fabulous artwork on display and a presentation from our
art department, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you stay for the meeting.
and then you stay for the meeting. Okay, have a good night.